Amber Heard hired a private investigator to dig up dirt on Johnny Depp. But contrary to what she expected, the PI, Paul Baresi, found dirt on her instead. So, what exactly did the private investigator reveal about how Amber treated Johnny? Back in 2020, Amber had hired a private investigator to find out anything dirty about her ex-husband. The investigator, Paul Baresi, aka the Hollywood Fixer, said that he was hired by Amber Heard's lawyer, as they thought of him as the right man to do the job. Back then, he said about Johnny after his investigations, "I interviewed dozens of people who knew him going as far back as 3 decades ago, and nobody had one bad thing to say about him. In fact, they couldn't say enough about his ever-flowing outpouring of generosity and tender heart." After the verdict of their 2022 case was made, Paul did an exclusive interview with the Daily Mail, and he spilled about how Amber and other people who surrounded Johnny totally took advantage of Johnny. During a 3-month investigation, Paul revealed that he interviewed 100 people across the US and Europe who worked with Johnny Depp on films dating back 30 years. But again, he said he couldn't find any dirt on Johnny. He said that when Amber hired him, she wanted proof that Johnny had harmed other women, but not even a single woman came out to say that Johnny had harmed them. So when Paul couldn't find any dirt on Johnny, he decided to look into his relationship even further. And what he found out about the people who surrounded Johnny was shocking. He revealed he found more than a dozen people whose rent, medical bills, house payments, car payments, bail, and even legal fees were paid by Johnny. He told the Daily Mail, once they were there, they'd scratch his back with one hand while the other took in the feed. All of the people around him have been on the take for so many years. They feel comfortable with taking things from him. He's a very passive guy. Then he went on to explain how Amber took advantage of Johnny, adding, "Even Amber in some respects was an opportunist on par with everyone else. She obviously knew his power in Hollywood, and she seized upon that power in the hopes of furthering her career. At the end of the day, in Hollywood, it's who you know and who's pulling for you. Because for every part in a movie, there are 2,000 people equally competent to handle that role." While stressing how much people use Johnny, Paul added, "I interviewed so many people who said there are many people who took advantage of Johnny. Johnny feels sorry for these people. Maybe he feels guilty because he made so much money, and he feels like he has to take care of these people. I think it proved to be the bane of his existence, unfortunately." Well, Paul also said he realized much of Johnny Depp's fall from grace was his own doing, because he allowed himself to be surrounded by people who would take advantage of him. According to him, the decline and downfall were due to these grifters, these wannabes, and these freeloaders that came into Johnny's life, because they would insinuate themselves into Johnny's life. They would milk him for whatever he was worth, not so much materialistically or monetarily, but emotionally. So people on Twitter found the turn of events really interesting, with one noting, "Interesting. Amber Heard hired a private investigator on Johnny Depp, apparently, and even he has spoken against Amber Heard. 95% of people anywhere near JD and Amber Heard are taking JD's side, even when Amber was the one hiring them. LOL." Another person wrote, "Johnny Depp is very good with fans. He's never had problems with fans. One thing he has a problem with is people baiting him and then taking advantage of him. Amber's PI confirmed this. Johnny Depp is an easy target, but he's learning to stand up for himself and others now." A lot of info keeps trickling in about Amber and Johnny, so you want to keep it here for all the developing updates.